Hello everyone, Strupes here again for this week's version of Market Movers. I'm focusing on the cards that have gone up in the last week or so. Not a whole lot of new news, but biggest thing here I think, if you've never been here before, we focus mainly on standard frame cards, not on hyperspace and not on showcase, just because those don't give you a very good idea of what is being played in the meta. So mostly focusing on standard frame cards. So in that vein, Spark of Rebellion is the main one this week with a 45.4% increase. Pretty similar to last week, most of these cards that are going up that we're going to be talking about, just because still I think we're seeing the fallout of reactions to control lists. Yesterday, Tower number 9 posted a video talking about how to deal with control, and Spark had been going up before then, but it may be going up more after that. When popular content creators talk about cards, you see this all the time in Magic, the cards shoot up even more. So I wouldn't be surprised if this continues to go up at this pace or higher. But Spark of Rebellion, even at double aspect penalty, being played in like a blue-black or black double blue deck like in Iden, it's used there. It's used in blue-black control builds, even at 6. Main use for that is to pull out restocks, pull out vigilance from your opponent's hand in a control mirror, and of course even in a heroic cunning deck or just a heroic deck, it's useful against control because you can pull out their cards that are going to stop up the game for you. So that's the first one we'll cover. Then we've got like lots of hyperspace, lots of showcase. I was a little bit surprised here to see Hera as the second standard frame moving card. I don't know if there's been, I don't follow every single Star Wars Unlimited content creator. I know Chopper and some of those other cards are very, very good. We don't have a whole lot of Spectres at the moment. There may be a build out there somewhere that I'm not completely familiar with. From a content creator. As far as like competitive lists go, though, Hera has not really placed in any top 16s, any top decks like that in 4Ks, 5Ks. So, but it may be a budget option that people are looking at. We're gonna have to go down a little bit farther. Number 3 is Cunning, which is a repeat that we'll have from like last week. It's still up 22.9% in the last 7 days. Cunning. People are running double cunning lists because Bodhi can interrupt control a little bit, although in my experience it's not particularly great. I play on Karabast beta mostly online. I place a number of double yellow decks, whether that be Thrawn or more often Boba, and even with I think I've had people hit 3 Bodhis, maybe even in my gameplay video from this weekend against Thrawn. I think that Thrawn player hit 3 Bodhis. And if you're keeping your removal in hand, it still doesn't usually work out for the double cunning list. I think people, when you're theory crafting, it works out a little bit better than it does in practice. But even that being the case, cunning is still going up. Still a good card. It's a great tempo card. That Boba list is still very good against very many decks. I'm just not convinced that it does that well against double blue and some other control lists personally. But we'll move on a little bit here. We got a lot of hyperspace cards, hyperspace till we get down to home 1, and I think that kind of hints to the popularity of Han Green. There's a Han Green deck in the finals, or going into the top 4, I guess, of the TTI tournament, Take the Initiative League. Thork, one of the more popular content creators, runs a Han list also and has posted an updated Han list. I believe that was last week. But he got beat by another Han list, and that Han list is in the top 4. So if that deck keeps performing well in these tournaments that people watch, that'll probably keep going up as well. Then we got a whole lot of hyperspace again, till we get down here to the last card that I think we'll talk about, which is Aggression, which I think kind of follows from what I was talking about at the end of the video last week. That Sabine leader card moved at all, and like I said there, it you know, of course, it's a cheap card. There's common leaders in every pack. People even just toss them, throw them away, recycle them, whatever. But at the same time, double red Sabine, which I said at the last end of the last video, is maybe a thing now. Also, following again, I'll go back to Tower Number 9's video. At the end of his video, he talked about Aggression Sabine being a good counter to control decks. I don't think Aggression Sabine is very good against a very popular deck in the meta, which is just Boba mid-range. I think Sabine Green, in my experience, fares a lot better than double red. I've really never lost to a double red Sabine list when I was playing Boba Green at all. And they haven't really been that close. But again, I do play online on Carabast. Not a whole lot in person, just because I don't have an LGS within about an hour and a half of me. But at the same time, I have never run into a double red Sabine list versus mid-range that would work. I do think it may work against those kind of heavier control lists. Different lists, it is harder against mid-range, I think, but that's just true of aggro in general. I do think you sacrifice a bit to maybe power up in the control matchup by going double red, making yourself a little weaker against mid-range, but making you stronger against control. So it's really just what you think you're going to be seeing in the meta. Sauce, who had taken the first double blue Iden deck to that 4K and won with it, I think talked about that a fair bit too, though. There's not like one perfect deck that will win, that will beat everything. You're kind of like teching to what you think the meta will be. So if you've got a heavy control meta, or you think lots of people will be bringing those kinds of decks, I do think double red Sabine may be good there. But I think looking just market wise into the future, be looking at those kinds of things. I think people, as you can see from two of the top cards this week, people will be looking at Spark, people will be looking at Aggression, people will be looking at those lists, and especially as content creators are talking about these specific cards, they're probably going to be moving up, whether that's quickly or whether that's slowly as well. And especially if we see results from a tournament, which we're looking forward to seeing how that will shape up things too. These could be going up even more. But I think that will be it for the market update for this week. Thank you. If you like the content, be sure to like the video and subscribe. See you later.